Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from somewhere in this world. We're back to continue our playthrough of Empire Total War featuring Darthmod and the 40 unit saves version. We are playing as Poland-LITHUANIA Commonwealth, and last episode we pretty much ended our turn. We're in the process of moving forces north and actually building a northern army also, since we have to... I've decided to leave one in Berlin, not quite a full army, and the other one down in Istanbul as we get that area under control, and since the Ottoman Empire is still a little bit of a threat, so we do kind of have to keep a force down there just in case. So that's what we're in the process of doing. Let's just get the next turn going and see what transpires. And what transpires is yet another request from Louis XV for a military alliance. And the answer is still the same. No. Alright, so other than that request for an alliance, which just has become a standard mid-turn event from the British or the French, we came through pretty quietly. We did gain a new gentleman at last, and that's nice. This guy's over in Lithuania. We'll remember that. It's nice to pick up a new one. We'll figure out where to send him soon enough. And let's just double check everything else. Our forces up in the north, Lithuania and Poland also are slowly becoming available for our newest army there. Our general has been recruited up in Warsaw. And we continue our growth a little in spite of growing an army. Income this turn is very nice, over 18,000. And we got a couple new technology advances, so we'll go take a look at that. The carcass shot switched over to diamond formation, and we'll see if that's the way we want them. In fact, let's just look at that right now. At the same time, we can figure out where we probably want to send our gentlemen. Krakow is probably not a bad... Yeah, Krakow is not bad. I don't think there's any other real holes and any other areas of technology that I want to get a gentleman to, so Krakow is it is. Now as far as this one, I may slip this over to lime juice and sauerkraut because the diamond formation doesn't seem that vital to us. I could also slip down here for fire in advance, but we're definitely keeping this one here because I think we want to move down here to unlock reorganized procurement as soon as possible to get up to our nest. I think finally with the army board, that's where we might start seeing the winged hussars become available, and I'd love to get there sooner rather than later. So let's take a look. We're gonna move you over to a naval research over here. I think we're fine, and we seem to be well advanced in our military battles, at least with who we've been facing so far. So we'll make that choice there. And that's pretty much it. And a little history, buried in vitriol. And if you're interested in reading this history, have at it. Let's see. Let's get that Lithuanian gentleman right here. As a matter of fact, let's get him chosen so we don't forget and get him on the move down to Krakow. And there it is right here. We'll be there in just 2 turns and we'll be fine there. Let's continue our growth and recruiting here in Poland. We got a general. We'll go with some more cavalry oriented. We got the National Cavalry, a Lancer Cavalry, not quite the winged hussars yet, but let's see. Melee attack 26, slightly better than the other Lancers, so why don't we pick up one of those. And then up in Lithuania, where we're also recruiting, at this point we're just making this our basic line infantry recruitment to build up our force quickly that way. And that should be good enough, because it's going to take a while for our force down here, and it's way down here. We got a long way to travel, and we haven't even upgraded these roads yet. Is that in the process? Let's find out. Yeah, it is in the process. So we're going to get our army moving, and as far as the quickest way to get up to the roads, these are all dirt. Let's get over this way. We got this road running towards Istanbul, and we can get actually on the road here, but let's go cross country, kind of take a shortcut, if that's what you want to call this, with the army right there. Okay. And the biggest thing I want to take a look at, all this is good. Public order is all good right now, so and our income is solid even with the recruitment of new armies. So I'm going to kind of go around the map at this point and start seeing about where we can do some more upgrades, and I'll kind of have y'all join me when I make those choices. In fact, right here we got some nice industry that we can upgrade, and that's where I want to focus a lot of my spending. And this is going to eat up our finances quick. Look at that. We're already down to 4,000. All right, we have a mine over here we can build up, and it looks like there's another farm over here we can build up. So we'll just keep those kinds of things going as we work to strengthen our income, our economy. In fact, we got another mine right here. And that's pretty much going to be it. There's nothing left to do after that. Before I do that, let me just make sure, are all my armies fully recruited? Yeah, the flags are solid. The flags are looking good. So let's go ahead and invest in the mine that we found. Somewhere over here there was a mine that I had found that we want to upgrade. Here we go. And that will be our spending for this turn. There's not a lot else. What I'll do is I'll go through the list. I think it's pretty much rakes is about the only thing that I may want to move and relocate. We'll take a look at those and then just get moving on to the next turn, because the big thing is relocating our armies to the north so we can open up the battle in the north with an attack on Courland, our old protectorate. We'll take our guy in Turkey to wander a little bit towards Ankara, which could be their de facto capital right now. We'll see if their army that was down here doesn't look like it's relocated in this direction. So we've kind of lost track of their army. We'll back up a little bit. Oh no, we haven't lost track. They moved south, so that's our new position here. At the moment, we'll just keep this rake with their eyes on Moscow. Sweden should be fine. Savoy is where we got one more that we want to move. We want to get better eyes over into the French territories. And finally, I do want to keep an eye on the Swedes there. And we have some more eyes in the Rhineland that we're going to move more towards the French over here. Alsace-Lorraine looks like a nice target to get an eye on. Oh yeah, so we want to keep eyes on the armed forces over in this general area. And that's pretty much our turn. We're just going to keep moving forward. It's kind of a period of transition as we relocate our armies, and it looks like Courland is reinforcing their little force in our back country. We'll have to remember not to forget about this, but we're going to take our next turn. We'll see you on the other side. And like I predicted, Great Britain's turn to ask for the military alliance, and once again, we're getting good at declining. All right, we have a new technological advance, the puddling furnace, and that we may not be able to do any more advances down there. Let's take a look. Yeah, we are definitely limited till we finish with Wealth of Nations, which is going to take a little time because it's blocked until we finish joint stock companies. So this will work as backup. In fact, we'll move the seed planting drill over to advanced irrigation next, just to unlock another potential technology. So let's do that. And we'll choose that instead for our research. And ancillary has been gained a mistress. Not a big deal. Not in these days, apparently. And recruitment. So our army now has its artillery complement, so that's good news. A good round of construction with some nice money-generating buildings mixed in there. And the first European census has taken place. Alright, let's not forget moving our army north. That's the biggest thing we need to accomplish in these turns coming up, and it looks like it's just as good to go cross-country to get back up on the roads here, that one of these days, yeah, this one's already cobbled, so it's been upgraded. So we'll be just as these roads get upgraded, we'll be leaving the territory. And let's take a look at the recruitment we need to get done. Income is still over 18,000, so the growth in our military forces are still not a big deal yet. We're going to go with cavalry. We're going to go with some basic regiment of horse this time. And then over here, once again, we're going to recruit some more of the line infantry. And since I see the gentleman here, let's just get him moving into his intended target. And there he is. Now we're left with about 12,000 for upgrades, and I see one right in front of my eyes here. We might as well just upgrade it now. I see another such building right here. We're going to go with the upgrade, and that eats into a bunch. In fact, we got another upgrade here. And I think I saw another mine to the south that I would like to upgrade. If I can recall where I noticed another mine, but I swear I saw another mine down here somewhere. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Right there. We could just barely get that upgraded. To keep our income, it's not going to totally, with the amount of recruiting we're doing right now, there's no way it's going to totally keep up with the increased cost of our military, but it's not going to hurt to help keep a little bit of pace. Let's just see how our preaching is going here. We're at 50% Catholicism here, so we need to keep that going. Was there something else I had noticed? Church school and regular school, so it wasn't two church schools. I was thinking I had two church schools in one territory, and that seemed a little unnecessary, and I was going to fix that. Jesuit college, regular college, yeah, so there's nothing there to fix. I'm going to take a quick look once again at our rakes, make sure there's nobody else I want to adjust. And this army to the south has hidden again. Let's see if we can relocate it. And we'll keep our eye. This seems to be their biggest force down here that we're aware of. Just want to keep my eyes on it. In fact, I could probably try to infiltrate into them. But we'll think about that if I keep losing track of them. We'll keep Moscow in line. Now with Sweden over here, well, regular Sweden, not much there, but I mean, over here we saw finally Russia moving a significant army over here towards St. Petersburg, so maybe we're finally going to see a battle between these two up in the north coming up. And then the annoying Courland keeps sending army after army down here. Then next turn that'll join up. They'll send another army down if that's the pattern they maintain. But our army that's moving north will easily be able to take care of them once we declare war. In fact, since we are going to eventually want to move towards Courland, we're going to take our forces and start consolidating. We'll take our army right now with the artillery and head towards Lithuania to combine forces. And that should pretty much, I think there was just that one rake over in, let's see, Alsace-Lorraine is fine. There's another one in France. I want to move closer to the capital to see what's heading or going on more in this direction. And that gives us a little better as far as sight. There doesn't seem to be any great British armies over here, any great British battles happening, even though these two are at war. So we'll just have to keep our eyes open. And so once again, we're going to take our next turn. Just keep this thing moving along till we start moving north to be able to conduct further expansion. And the French turn, like clockwork, we will decline their military alliance request. All right, the turn has ended without much else going on. We got our recruitment report done. We got a lot of line infantry, a lot of cavalry. So that's a big boost, 8 units right there to our newly forming army. And it's getting to be where it's minimally, it's got the minimum we need to at least start functioning. So that's good to see. And we got some new towns emerging, and let's see what we've got. This is over in Brandenburg. We got a church school already, so we're looking at industry, my friends. We're looking at some industry. Now I might, do we have any, let's just take a look. You know what I may just do, just because we've been battling with public order over here, although it is to the point where I can move my army out of there. But I'm thinking we may just go with the pleasure gardens, since with all the industry and a school, if we keep upgrading the school here, that's going to be causing public order pressures at some point, especially with the religious conversion under place. So I think I'm just going to pass up now and go with the coaching inn and change it up a little bit, at least for this major territory where public order has been more of a challenge. Okay, our roads are finally catching up, and our roads are finally getting done a little bit. And we got some new technology advances. So we moved up in naval research, and we've moved up in farming research. So let's just double check, make sure we're where we need to be. And yes, that is the next one we want. We want to get up to the Naval College to be able to build that. So we're in the right place there. And then as far as farming, we jumped over here. So what I have to look at doing is building a great estate this turn. And so we're going to look at a farm upgrade just to get that built so we can continue. There's not that many farming things, for lack of a better word, farming research areas left once we build this. So, in fact, is this such a building? Great estates and great estates. Let's just do it right now. So we have at least one of those great estates under construction. We'll combine this army over here, and I'm assuming since this is all cavalry, they may do a better job of making it to Lithuania in one move, most assuredly, much better than the artillery did. So this is our army looking pretty dang good right now. Look at that. It's already half as big as it can be. So we're well on our way. And I think what we can look at doing now, recruitment-wise, is start slowing down. I would love, although we can't afford any more grenadiers. So this army will not have grenadiers as part of their forces. What we will do is see about adding a howitzer. Couple howitzers along with a couple more cavalry to finish that way. And I probably won't be doing, in fact, our income, okay, I've spent a bunch of it. Our income is not dropping horrendously yet. So that may be the last big push for recruitment, because also on the same token, our army here now is almost going to be back up after this turn. Yes, back into almost, well, let's call it original Polish territory. Or was this part of our original territories? I can't even remember. So we're really close to being able to start our actions up there. The last thing we'll do is I'm going to look around at upgrading. In fact, why don't we do this? Let's look at our infrastructure and upgrade where we can, where we need infrastructure. I'm just going to scroll through all our territories, and where I can, as long as my funds hold out, and well, they just stopped holding out. So Prague just got an upgrade to their road network, but that's fine. And then we got to look at our rakes. There's one over here near Paris. I'm going to have him be more hanging out on the other side of Paris, so we have a little vision of the coast, keeping everything else in order, especially this fort. And I think that's a good spot for him. Other than that, I think everybody else is probably rake-wise. Let's just keep an eye down in Turkey with the Ottoman Empire. And he seems to have settled down with that army. And the only one I have to make a decision on is my eyes and ears over here around Moscow. But I'm not seeing a lot of activity around Moscow. So maybe what we'll do... It looks like we have some farms burning down here, but let's take a look. I don't know where. I don't know where to send this guy. We got the Ukraine. Kiev is over here. We're just going to keep the eyes over here. I'm actually to the point where maybe I have too many rakes. Let's see if we can infiltrate. We'll start taking some risks with rakes. Since I have more than I need right now, I can afford to lose one or two along the way. And we have completed our mission. We are embedded in Moscow for the time being. Alright, I think our next turn will get this force up to the Courland army here, and then we can take this force out after our next round of recruitment. We can probably march all the way on this army, or on their capital, and probably wipe them out. I think this is our only province, so if we take the capital, that'll spell the end. We'll have our army here just in case that doesn't work, and we may be declaring war next turn, so let's get to that next turn. Our income projected down to 14,000. Not as impressive as close to 20, but still solid and good enough for our purposes. So let's get to the next turn. And the Britons, offering no enticements this time. They're still looking for that military alliance. All right, and we got a new missionary, which is something we could use down in our recently acquired territories. It's all the way up in Brandenburg, so we're going to have to keep him a marching to the south to take advantage of his services. Although Brandenburg is Protestant, and we need to convert. We just got a lot of conversions everywhere. Let's face it. But we're gonna march him south first. And we've gained another technological advance. Punch card loom, and it looks like there's a power loom available. Let's go take a look at that in a minute. Agent executed. So he has been captured. This is probably the guy in Russia. Oh yeah. He did not last long in Moscow. Not a friendly place, I guess, to be a spy. Let's get back down here to research while I'm thinking about it. And good, we moved on to our next research here, and I'm happy with that choice. We've gained the factory master trait, so that's fine because we stayed with a factory kind of technology research, so that's appropriate. And we gained some nice recruits. We're gonna get them all on the move. And good income buildings have been completed. We have a new port that's emerged. Where is this one? Oh, right near Courland, as a matter of fact. And I am thinking, well, we have growth still going, so I'm going to push for some more income and more trade once again. And we have another new town emerging. This one over in Prague. And how are we looking as far as religious differences over here. 60% Protestant. So I'm thinking we will give a little push to the conversions over here and build a church school. All right, let's get our armies moving. All right, you're going to be well positioned now for where I desire to have you. And then we can combine armed forces here. I'm not going to recruit anymore. And next turn, we're going to be declaring war. We're going to get them moved out of the capital of Lithuania, Vilnius, and get them ready as close as we can towards the border with Courland for next turn. So what we have to accomplish in the meantime is some economic upgrades, and what I'm going to finish with is some of the road upgrades that we still have to accomplish. And those are expensive, so while I can have a decent income and I can get two or three of these infrastructure upgrades completed, yeah, we'll be able to get 3 of them done. Three down, and we do have some more to go, I'm sure. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got at least 4 more to go. I can't remember if I looked at this one already. 4 or 5 more to go. So we had something interesting that happened mid-turn. I'm scrolling down here. Our poor little rake down here. It turns out I should have embedded him with the army. They took their navy away from the Austrian port they had been blockading when we were back at war, and put this big old force on board, which has me a little concerned because they could land anywhere they want down here. So with that in mind, hopefully they're attacking somebody new and different. Then again, they are not friends with us by any means. So what I'm thinking is, since we are not required to stay in Brandenburg for any particular reason, especially public order wise anymore, I'm going to move this army to the south, at least as far as Austria, to be sure. So at least if they land somewhere down here, we got another army a lot closer to the potential action that could be coming. So let's get them on the move. And we will do a... Oh, he can move just a tiny bit farther. There we go. And then we'll just double check the public order here. And yeah, it's good enough to keep things okay down here. And Protestant, it's probably... At least we're getting slowly rid of the resistance to foreign occupation, because pretty soon, temporarily, we're going to get an increase in... Actually, I don't even see any religious unrest, but we're going to get, I think, when we get closer to 50% split, that's when the religious unrest reaches more of its peak. So, yeah, I think we'll be okay, though. And we're going to look at just doing some upgrades around. Actually, we don't have much to spend, so we should maybe one whole farm, and we're pretty much done. And I know what you all have been waiting for is at least some battles and expansions. So without further ado, what I think I'll do with my rake that's now got nothing to observe and watch, yeah, we'll keep you up near their capital this way. And then if we end up having forces land over here, and we should be able to keep track of them without a rake, so I'm not too concerned. But I am concerned now about them landing somewhere in our somewhat soft underbelly as we focus to the north. And we had a rake, I mean a new missionary we needed to move. I think it was up in Brandenburg, was it? No. Now I've forgotten where he was recruited, so I'm going to fall back to my lists and get the guy moving. Oh, it was up here in Brandenburg. It's just that he's in the church, of course, not in the city center. So let's get him moving to the south. In a way, he's going to be following the army to the south.
Chwila-wytchnienia.
All right, so let's take one more turn so we can get some war declared. I don't think I saw a lot of movement from the army here. I'm hoping that we can battle with Courland, knock them out, and actually grab Riga, Estonia, and Livonia for ourselves before the Russians make a move on it. That's my hope. And it is the French's turn, so we shall now decline their offer. Okay, so some interesting things. One thing I saw during the last move, and I think if I go right about there on the map, yes, the Ottoman force is moving towards the Atlantic. To who knows where they're going to attack and expand next, but they're not moving in our direction. So I'm feeling a little more comfortable. Something did happen to the north, however, and that is the Swedes finally have been able to knock out Denmark. But with us soon planning to go to war with Sweden, all of a sudden that makes me a little more nervous about moving that army out of Brandenburg. I want to get back up there now with our force, and this will be your resting spot. Funny how we could move better out than into our own territory over here. Wow. Let's see. Nation destroyed, and that is Denmark. So I wonder who's controlling Iceland over here. Oh, it's just Icelandic rebels is what it is. Okay. And our howitzers to go along with our new army are built now. And we've got some more income producing, well, not so much the coaching in. Some more income producers there. Our income's down around just over 12,000. And I'm not going to worry about recruiting anymore just yet. We're going to work on all those funds on our infrastructure and income. So let's do the big deed right here. This may be anticlimactic on this end, but we're going to go to battle and declare war against Courland right about now. They're indifferent, but now they're going to be more than indifferent, because we're about to declare war. And we're not going to call any allies to help on this particular one. And we're going to move right on in. And we'll find out if they surrender or not. It's their only territory, as far as I know, at least. So they're probably not prone to surrender. Yeah, it is refused. So let's get this battle out of the way and see if we can't conquer their territory. All right, this is the deployment zone that we have. It's a slightly hazy day. What is this? A much lighter field than anywhere else. And it's basically rolling hills, and for the most part, their setup zone is in and around the city. So I'll take a look at the map and see the best locations for our artillery pieces. We have I thought I built 3, so yeah, I probably can't see the other ones over here. So I think we have 3 artillery units to get placed, and we'll set up the rest of the army. This should absolutely be no problem. Our force meter is definitely in our favor, but we'll be right back. Okay, we'll go from right to left. On the flank over here on the right, we have 2 regiment of horse, followed by the Lancers, the National Cavalry in the back, to come up potentially through the city. On this flank, I got 1 artillery unit, which is probably the highest point on our line, so it gives us total view of the battlefield there. Kept the one in the center where they originally were. It does not give great, there's a slight rise here, but it's nothing that'll block our long-range shots. And then there's enough visibility if for some reason they are foolhardy enough to charge on in for canister shot. And then this unit of artillery I left unlimbered, or limbered, excuse me, so we can move forward just an ever so slight bit to the crest of this hill to bombard from this direction, and we kept some infantry units over here to support that move forward and reinforce, and then 3 more regiments of horse on this side. So pretty standard setup. Just a couple regiments of reserve, because I'm not expecting to need that many with the general holding up in the rear. In fact, I don't even remember looking to see if we're going to be dealing with a lot of our mortars, but let's just get going and find out. And they're pretty far back. We're going to move our artillery here forward first of all, so we can get them positioned. We'll get the supporting roles, supporting troops up here to either side, just so they aren't left open for a potential cavalry charge. In fact, we'll get our own cavalry out to the wings here, setting up their position out here. Now, before I do much more, about the only other thing I'm thinking I might want to look at doing is taking this line and bending it forward to meet up right here. And therefore we can move the reserves up, and we'll do it just so. Now let's go find out what else we might be dealing with here. We got various militias and infantry units on this side. I'm not really seeing mortar units off the top of my head, so we don't really have to worry about too much in the way of bombardment, it doesn't look like. What I'm probably going to do with this reserve unit, seeing as how much activity we have on the wing, I'm going to send them in over here on this side of the artillery, and then we'll get our own cavalry slightly out to the wings. And this looks like another reserve unit. As a matter of fact, due to the amount they have over here, I'm going to pull this reserve back and then march them over to that wing of the line also. And we're going to unlimber here now so we can start directing cannon fire on them from this area also. In fact, let's pull at this point. Yeah, they have forces, so we got to be careful, because if we in fact, let's see if we can hide ourselves within the trees just so they don't direct a charge with ground infantry right towards us. And let's get out of line of fire for the artillery here as we relocate. And let's continue relocating this unit down to this wing for more support. I think we're about set up and ready to start moving against their advances here in just a moment. In fact, we'll take this end of the line and kind of even curl them farther forward this way. They are forming their lines to advance against us, because we are able to just bombard them from a distance. It kind of forces them to have to try and deal with our artillery. In fact, we're going to... It's not a great line of sight for this artillery, but we can launch some projectiles over here on their flank. And they seem to be advancing now, changing their orientation towards the center. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our infantry over on this wing and start advancing them. And we're going to take these frontline infantry units and also kind of swing forward ourselves here. All of a sudden their line seems to be converging. All the flank units that were concerning me at one point seem to be moving towards the center now. So we'll keep you right there. And we're going to see if we can't change to canister fire now. They have not closed in close enough anywhere else on our line. The trees and the undulation of the ground seems to be preventing a lot of our canister shot from reaching this unit. So I think we'll just switch back. And since we do have the flank seeming to be secure, we're going to see if we can get another angle for our soldiers over here, and we'll bring this unit out to the side again. And we're going to advance forward on the left. Let's form up over here, just to be in place in case they shift their focus, but everything seems to be going well. They just can't stand up to our superior firepower. And many units breaking, but they will be able to reform. They will not retreat out of it. So what we're going to do, we're going to keep up the pressure. We're going to keep our left line to continue their advance. In fact, we'll bring the reserve unit in. I don't feel like we have to worry about maintaining any sort of reserve in this particular battle. We try to keep up the pressure, squeezing them into the center. Not even having to commit our cavalry yet at this point. And what I'll do is with one of our regimental horse, we're going to chase down this retreating unit, try to prevent them from forming. We're going to bring, we do have some garrison line infantry over here. In fact, we're going to run down this unit with 2 regiments. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my lancers over here in case this other unit decides to become involved in our shattering of this unit. We can give him a good old lancer charge to see how our newest lancers hold up. We're going to continue our advance over here now to try squeezing them in. In fact, I'm going to take the lancers here. We're going to get into diamond formation and we're going to charge over here. And I may need to silence temporarily some of our artillery because I'm seeing some errant cannonballs arriving right about where we are going to be coming in with our lancers. And they have quite the count against us, so that charge maybe not as robust as it could have been. We're going to back off. We're going to bring in a regiment of cavalry in for a charge. And this unit is still not shattered, so we're going to keep the 1 regiment keeping up the pressure over there so they do not re-enter the battle. Lancers are going to reform over here. They're being shot at by the regiment who's about to be charged by our other regiment of horse. And we still continue to have cannon fire. Okay, time for the lancers to try to reform and charge yet again. We'll keep this cavalry here to the last minute, try to get them out of the way. Let's pull them back. We've got their numbers greatly reduced now, although we're taking some small arms fire from a distance, but we've got these guys wavering like crazy. I think it's time to back off with the lancers. And we have them shattered from that attack. And the unit back here, they seem to be retreating just fine and broken. Let's bring our cavalry back to help with any other mop-up we're going to have. Which unit of artillery is still firing? It's not that one, it's this one. Okay, cavalry is fine. We're going to keep infantry pressure moving up now. And we'll do that at a run. And we're going to keep this side moving up also. At a run. Squeeze them in. Box them in. And there goes our fire onto their position. What we're going to do is we're going to back off the cavalry just a little bit so that we don't draw any fire from this unit, and then we'll charge in when the opportunity presents itself. In fact, we have this cavalry unit that we're going to send in on this unit. And for the militia, we're about ready to do a good old-fashioned charge on the militia over here. We're going to do a softening up with the regiment of horse. Try and keep them distracted and follow up with the lancer charge. And they're going to come in with a cavalry charge in their rear at just about the same time, and they're going to feel sandwiched a bit. And we got units breaking left and right over here from all this activity. What we're going to do is see about sending in some of the lancers. Yeah, we probably don't need to. We'll send them in to just make sure these guys don't reform anymore. They're shattered. Let's continue sending in cavalry so we don't have to worry about these guys reforming anymore. He's only broken. And we got one stubborn unit left in the middle, so it's time to seal the deal. And get aggressive. We'll send these 3 regiments over. Minus the cavalry. 2 regiments now. That should be enough. We'll run them over at a full run. And they should fold rapidly. And by surrounding them from many different angles, they are starting to fold. In fact, we'll get a regiment forward here. And they're going to start gaining fire from every possible angle. They don't know which way to turn. They don't know which way to fire because they're getting it from all sides. And that was an effective blow, and there they go. All right, we're going to end this battle. It was a success. Okay, victory is ours. I lost only 278 individuals on that particular battle. And Courland, I believe, is going to be nation destroyed. Yes, no more. region has been captured, and the forces that were in our interior have dispersed and dissipated. So we're going to move the rest of our armed forces up in that direction, so we can do the same thing to Sweden. And it looks like we have a very good chance of, well, we'll see. We may or may not. It's going to be cutting it close to whether Russia beats us to Riga, Estonia, Livonia before we can get there. So we'll find that out. In fact, we're going to find that out next time. We're going to cut the episode at this point. So the suspense will be, will we make it there first, or will we be just a tad too late? This is ZigZagZog signing off from somewhere in this world. I want to thank you so much for watching this episode, and I do hope to see you next time.